Welcome back to Gods and Heroes Unveiled, where we unearth the myths and marvels of ancient Greece. Today, we're descending into the shadows of the mythological bestiary to meet Cerberus, the ferocious three-headed dog guarding the gates of the Underworld. With jaws that snap, eyes that glow, and a howl that chills the soul, this beast is no ordinary watchdog. Curious about his origins, his deadly duties, and his lasting legend? Then stick with us, hit that subscribe button, and let's journey into the realm of the dead together. Cerberus, the three-headed dog of the Underworld, Mythological Bestiary. 1. The Birth of Cerberus. In the dark corners of Greek mythology, where monsters reign and chaos breeds, Cerberus emerges as a creature forged from nightmare itself. Like the chimera before him, Cerberus owes his existence to the monstrous union of Typhon and Echidna. Typhon, the storm giant with 100 dragon heads, clashed with Zeus in a battle that shook the cosmos, while Echidna, half-woman, half-serpent, lurked in her cave, birthing terrors to plague the world. From this fearsome lineage sprang Cerberus, a hound unlike any other, destined to guard the boundary between life and death. Picture him, 3 massive heads, each crowned with a mane of writhing snakes, their jaws dripping with venomous drool. His eyes burned with an eerie light, and his bark, or rather, his triple roar, echoed through the underworld like a death knell. Some tales give him a serpent for a tail, others add 50 heads in earlier versions, but the classic image sticks to 3, a trinity of terror. Hesiod, in his Theogony, calls him the brazen-voiced hound of Hades, a beast cruel and pitiless, born to serve a grim purpose. Cerberus wasn't the only spawn of Typhon and Echidna. He shared his gruesome family tree with the Hydra, the Chimera, and the Sphinx, each a challenge to heroes, each a piece of the monstrous puzzle. Yet Cerberus stood apart, tied not to the living world, but to the realm of Hades, god of the dead. His birth was no accident. He was crafted for a role, a guardian bred to ensure no soul escaped the underworld and no living fool dared enter uninvited. His very existence reflected the Greeks' fascination with boundaries, life and death, order and chaos, mortal and divine. Where did this beast come from? Myths don't pinpoint a birthplace like they do for Pegasus or the Chimera. Instead, Cerberus seems to emerge fully formed from the shadows of his parents' lair, perhaps a cave near the volcanic gates of the underworld, where sulfur fumes and darkness hinted at his future home. Some scholars suggest his triple heads echo older deities, like the three-formed Hecate, goddess of witchcraft, who also roamed the crossroads between worlds. Others see him as a twist on real guard dogs, magnified into a mythic terror by a culture obsessed with the afterlife. His name offers a clue to his roots. Cerberus might stem from the Greek Kerberos, linked to Kerberois, meaning spotted or speckled, a fitting name for a beast with a mottled hide or snake-strewn fur. Alternatively, it could tie to Indo-European words for growling or death, aligning with his fearsome voice and purpose. Whatever the etymology, his name became synonymous with the implacable guard, a title earned through his monstrous form and unrelenting duty. The symbolism of Cerberus runs deep. 3 heads might represent past, present, and future, time itself locked in his gaze, or the 3 stages of death, dying, judgment, and eternity. The snakes in his mane, like Medusa's locks, evoke poison and danger, while his massive size dwarfs any mortal hound, making him a gatekeeper no one could bypass. Unlike the Chimera, born to destroy, or Pegasus, born to inspire, Cerberus was born to maintain, a sentinel of balance in a world where death was as certain as the setting sun. His birth also ties into the broader Greek underworld mythos. Hades, his master, ruled a realm of rivers, Styx, Acheron, Lethe, and Cerberus was its first line of defense, stationed at the gates near the ferryman Charon. His creation wasn't just a freak of nature, it was a necessity, a living lock on the prison of souls. As we'll see next, his role in the underworld wasn't passive. He was a force of nature, a beast whose growl shaped the myths of heroes bold enough to face him. 2. Cerberus' role in the underworld. Cerberus didn't roam the earth like the Chimera or soar the skies like Pegasus. He was bound to the underworld, a three-headed enforcer of Hades' will. Stationed at the gates near the river Styx, he stood as the ultimate guardian, a living barrier between the living and the dead. His job was simple yet brutal. Keep the shades, the souls of the departed, trapped inside, and bar the living from entering without permission. With 3 sets of jaws snapping, snakes hissing from his mane, and a roar that rattled the caverns, Cerberus was a terror no one crossed lightly. The underworld wasn't a place of restful peace. It was a grim kingdom ruled by Hades and Persephone, where souls faced judgment and eternity. Cerberus patrolled the entrance, his glowing eyes scanning the shadows as Charon ferried souls across the Styx. The dead, reduced to wispy shades, had no strength to challenge him, and his presence ensured they stayed put. But it was the living who tested his might. Heroes and fools who dared to breach the realm of death, drawn by love, duty, or hubris. One such tale pits Cerberus against Orpheus, the musician whose lyre could charm gods and beasts alike. When his wife Eurydice died, Orpheus descended to reclaim her, armed only with his music. Facing Cerberus, he played a haunting melody, softening the beast's savage heart. The 3 heads stilled, the snakes drooped, and, for once, Cerberus let someone pass unharmed. Hades granted Orpheus' wish, with a catch: don't look back. Tragically, he did, losing Eurydice forever, but the story shows Cerberus wasn't invincible, just rare enough to be swayed. Then came Heracles, the mightiest of heroes, with a far bolder approach. His 12th labor, assigned by King Eurystheus, was to capture Cerberus and bring him to the surface, a task meant to kill him. Guided by Hermes and Athena, Heracles descended, his club and lion-skin cloak at the ready. Some say he wrestled Cerberus barehanded, overpowering the beast with brute strength. Others claim Hades allowed the capture, provided no weapons were used. Either way, Heracles dragged Cerberus into the daylight, his 3 heads snarling, snakes thrashing, until Eurystheus, terrified, begged him to return the beast. Cerberus went back to his post, undefeated in spirit. These encounters reveal Cerberus' dual nature, ferocious yet bound by rules. Unlike the Chimera, he didn't seek chaos. He enforced order, a loyal servant to Hades. His role made the underworld a fortress, amplifying its dread. Souls crossing the Styx faced Charon's toll, then Cerberus' teeth, a gauntlet ensuring death's finality. The Greeks saw him as a necessary evil, a guard dog writ large, embodying their belief that death was inescapable and the afterlife unbreachable. Cerberus wasn't alone in his duties. The underworld teemed with dangers, Erebus' darkness, the Furies' wrath, but he was the gatekeeper, the first and last line of defense. Some myths give him a softer side. Persephone, Hades' queen, might have fed him scraps, and he reportedly wagged his serpent tail for her. Yet these moments were rare. His primary role was menace, his growls a warning etched into every tale of the dead. His clashes with heroes highlight the Greek love for boundary crossers. Orpheus breached the underworld with art, Heracles with strength. Both defied Cerberus, yet neither diminished him. He remained a constant, returning to his post after each challenge, a symbol of death's relentless grip. Art from the time captures this. Vases show Heracles hauling him by a chain, Orpheus strumming nearby, yet Cerberus' eyes still blaze with defiance. Cerberus' role wasn't just functional, it was mythic. He personified the fear of death, the unknown beyond the gates. His 3 heads watched all directions, ensuring no escape, no intrusion. As we'll see in his legacy, this hound didn't fade with the myths. He bounded into eternity, a guardian whose snarl still echoes through time. 3. The Legacy of Cerberus. Cerberus didn't vanish when the torches of Greek heroes dimmed. He bounded into legend, leaving paw prints across art, culture, and the human imagination. Unlike the Chimera, a terror slain and left behind, or Pegasus, a symbol of soaring hope, Cerberus endured as the eternal sentinel of the underworld. His three-headed growl became a fixture in the Greek psyche, a reminder of death's inevitability, and his legacy stretched far beyond the Styx into the modern world. In ancient Greece, Cerberus was a star of storytelling and art. Poets like Virgil in the Aeneid described him as huge Cerberus, sprawled on the murky floor, his three throats barking at Aeneas. Potters painted him on red figure vases, his head snapping, snakes coiling, often with Heracles wrestling him into submission. Sculptures at temple sites, like the necromantic Oracle of Ephora, carved him into stone, his presence a warning to those seeking the dead. He wasn't just a monster, he was a cultural touchstone, embodying the boundary no mortal could truly conquer. His name and form carried weight beyond tales. Cerberus entered Greek as a byword for a fierce guard. Watchdogs were nicknamed after him, their barks a faint echo of his roar. His triple heads inspired later symbols, the three fates, the three judges of the underworld, even the Christian Trinity in medieval reinterpretations. Unlike the Chimera, whose name became abstract, Cerberus stayed concrete, a hound you could picture, fear, and respect. The Romans embraced him fully. In their underworld, ruled by Pluto, Hades' Roman twin, Cerberus guarded the gates just as fiercely. Ovid's Metamorphoses and Apuleius' tales kept him alive, while mosaics in Pompeii showed him snarling at intruders. As Rome fell, Cerberus tagged along into the Middle Ages, where he morphed into a demon of hell. Dante's Inferno reimagines him as a gluttonous beast in the third circle, devouring the damned. A far cry from his Greek role, yet still a gatekeeper of torment. Art kept him snarling through the centuries. Renaissance painters like William Blake depicted him with Gothic flair, his head's a tangle of fury. In literature, Shakespeare name-dropped him in Titus Andronicus, and Milton's Paradise Lost gave him a nod as a fearsome watchdog. His image evolved, sometimes a sleek hound, sometimes a hulking monstrosity, but the core remained: three heads, unyielding duty, and a presence that chilled the soul. In science, Cerberus left a quieter mark. Astronomers named a moon of Pluto Kerberos in 2013, a nod to his underworld roots, spelled with a K to dodge a naming conflict. Zoologists see his snakes as a mythic twist on real guard dogs, bred for ferocity in ancient homes. Psychologists even link him to the Cerberus complex, a fear of inner guardians blocking repressed truths, a stretch, but a sign of his depth. Today, Cerberus bounds through pop culture. Video games like Hades and God of War cast him as a boss fight, his head's roaring in pixelated glory. Movies, think Harry Potter's Fluffy, a gentler riff, borrow his multi-headed menace. He's a staple in fantasy novels, from Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series to tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons. His image graces tattoos, band logos, and even security firm emblems, a modern watchdog with ancient teeth. Cerberus' legacy isn't just in his snarl, it's in what he represents. To the Greeks, he was death's doorkeeper, a symbol of finality and order in a chaotic world. His endurance reflects our fascination with the edge of life, the guardians we imagine at its end. Unlike Pegasus' inspiration or the Chimera's chaos, Cerberus offers grim certainty, a hound who never sleeps, never falters. From vases to video screens, he remains the underworld's eternal sentinel, a three-headed myth that still watches us from the shadows. Outro. And that's the fearsome tale of Cerberus, from his monstrous birth to his underworld watch and timeless legacy. Which head scares you most? The lion, the snake, or the one in between? Tell us in the comments. If you love this dive into the mythological bestiary, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Greek legends. Thanks for watching Gods and Heroes Unveiled. See you next week for another epic journey.